Hi, welcome to a kind of juicy prenatal flow. Focus a little bit more on the hips. We'll be talking a lot about preparing for labor and delivery, and some of the moves that we'll be doing in here might become familiar, or you want to practice them, see how it feels, because they may be helpful in early labor and end of pregnancy. As always, if something is not feeling good in your body or you're having pubic bone pain, some of these things we are doing more hip openers. I would encourage you to draw inward. So as opposed to like the opening up in lunge, drawing in. And when we do malasana, we'll do half malasana variation. So there's always options, but if at any point you're feeling like pain, particularly in the pubic bone, that's a really good time to stop. I'm not a fan of like pushing through pain when we're practicing yoga. This should not be painful. Should be uncomfortable at times. There are points in our practice that are uncomfortable, but never a pain. So if you're feeling pain, please pause, let me know, and there's always ways to adjust. We're going to start in a comfortable seat, and sometimes it can help with a little bit of an elevation. When you sit flat, what can happen is this rounding, and what we really want is to lift and elevate, like Kearney is, to have more tilt to the pelvis here. And this is a really good thing to think about seated at home as well. Towards this stage of pregnancy, I would encourage you to do less reclining in the couch and chair and more sitting on the ball, moving around, so that you get more of that upright and encourage baby in a more optimal position. When we are reclined a lot and sinking back like this, baby can tend to flip spine to your spine and be sunny side up. So we're always thinking about how we can kind of support that more along spine, especially with back pain right now. Totally get it. Think about that lifting and lengthening. So we'll be starting here, finding a comfortable seat. Hands rested to the knees, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears, taking a moment to arrive, to let go of whatever came before, whatever you have to do after. To give yourself permission for the next little bit to just be here. You and your body and your breath with your baby. Getting a chance to connect. Connect to one another. Connect to your breath, your strength. And to connect to your body. Sometimes we can forget when we're sharing, so many things are changing, that it is your body first. This is a good practice to see how it's feeling as we move, taking pause, checking in. What's your body telling you? Bring all your awareness to your breath. With each inhale, thinking about taking in whatever it is that you need. Allowing for growth and expansion and space, filling the body, filling the lungs. With each exhale, softening, letting go, finding release. Less gripping and grasping. With the hands to the knees, we'll just gently begin to circle to the upper body, a little spiral, kind of warming up the spine, little cat-cow motion. Maybe bigger circles feel good. You get into moving in the arms and the elbows. Maybe it feels good to stay smaller. Just adding a little movement here. Both directions. And gently coming back to center. Bringing left hand to belly, right hand to heart, taking a moment, feeling that connection. Hand to baby, hand to self. inhale the arms out and up. Exhale out, opening up the chest. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Extend as you press, bringing the right hand down, left arm up. Leaning and creating space in that left side of the body. And then we'll bring our left hand to the right rib cage. And we're going to keep belly forward as we walk the right hand back, thinking about twisting from the shoulders and the chest, but not the stomach. When we think about this, because soon, you've got all this weight here, but soon you're going to have all this weight here, right? We're feeding and we're holding baby, and we've got this hunch. So how can we twist and more opening of the chest? And then sweep that right arm out, leaning slightly to the left. And back out. Extending, left hand down, right arm lifts. Leaning into that hand without collapsing, not lifting into the hips, keeping both sits bones grounded. Right hand, left ribs. Walk the left hand back. Keeping that belly button faced forward. And then lift that arm and lean. Back to center. Begin to walk the hands forward as you shift onto hands and knees, coming into tabletop position. We're going to use that blanket for a little cushion under the knees. And when we're here finding a comfortable table, shoulders are stacked over the wrist. Palms are planted, fingers are spread wide. Now, if you're experiencing wrist pain, really common in pregnancy, relaxin is moving through the body, getting ready to open up the body, so we're feeling a little loosey-goosey. To stretch into the wrist for a moment, we're going to bring the back of the right hand down. Just gently rest it down, not all the weight, just a little pressure, feeling that stretch. And then switch. Forearms is also always an option. Good, and come back to center. So taking a moment in that table, pushing the ground away, grounded into the knees. Think about hugging baby up to spine. We'll begin to continue pushing as you tuck the chin around the spine, hug baby up. Moving into cat-cow. Now, as you lower, we're not collapsing into the belly, we're tilting into the pelvis, lowering the belly. And if that weight is too heavy and strong, you can come into neutral spine. You don't have to arch the back at all. Just moving through, rounding, moving with the breath. Think about tilting into the hips. Two more rounds. And we'll find our way back to neutral. Pressing into the palms, grounded into the knees, with the toes tucked. See if you can hover the knees up, just barely above the ground. Feel that strength in the inner thighs. Then as you lower the knees back down, keep that strength and engagement. Slide the right leg straight back. Straight, good. Pressing into the heel as you shift back slightly to feel that stretch into the calf. And then we'll begin to rock forward, lifting the toes up, just taking a pause, and then shifting back, stretching the heel. Shifting forward, taking a pause, and back. Feeling that strength as you shift, shoulders over the wrists. Two more. And we'll find that balance as you hover the leg. Hold. Keeping the hips square, toes down. Maybe you extend the left arm forward, finding bird dog. Beautiful. Hug baby in. Feel that strength. Hold. Left hand down. Bend the right knee. A little circle into the hip. Just gently, maybe 2 circles. Good. See how that feels. And then we'll pull the knee out to the side, extend the leg, and plant the foot. Good, so the foot is in alignment with the hip, and your left hip is stacked over the knee, so we're not pushing out to the side, keeping the hip stacked over knee. I like to keep my back toes tucked, that's up to you. And from here, you can use the blocks, walk your hands forward, and just begin to shift a little front to back. Maybe extending, letting the heart hang if that feels good for you, a little puppy variation. Maybe just rocking back. Maybe a little circle into the hips. All of these spaces, every posture that we get into, you are always free to move and to adjust and to wiggle and to explore. And particularly seeing how it feels to move into the hips. Think about as baby starts to descend, and particularly as we get close to birth, we want to give baby space and move into the hips and give them a chance and more space to drop in. So always adding that little movement, exploring, seeing how that feels. You might feel some spaces that feel sticky, and that's okay. Breathe through them, lean into them. Get curious about the body and how it's moving, knowing that it's different, and it's going to be different next week. Okay, bring your blocks in a little bit closer to the body. Pivot the right heel in, toe open. So we're coming into a little bit of a wider lunge variation, kind of just a little movement again, seeing how that feels, exploring. And then that knee is following the toes, so we've got that external rotation, opening up the knee. Bring your forearm to the thigh and lift the left arm up, opening up the chest, using that forearm to press again, so not collapsing, pushing and creating space here. Good, maybe even bring your right hand to belly, taking a moment. And we'll bring the hands down. So you bring our hands to blocks, straighten into that right leg, sweep it all the way back towards the left, crossing behind, toes tucked, pushing into that heel as you gaze over the left shoulder, feeling more length in the right side. Then we shift back to center, gazing toward the top of the mat, lift the right toes, finding that balance like we did with bird dog, bending into the knee and drawing the knee back down to meet the left. Jump roping the spine, adding a little movement, cat-cow, connecting with the breath. Good, and then we move to the other side. And you can use a block. You can use the blocks as we go through that sequence. The same thing on the other side if you want to. That might feel better for a little bit more space. It's totally up to you. Either way, blocks or no blocks, shoulders are stacked over wrist, strong core, think about engaging the inner thighs, and then slide the left toes back, keeping the hips square. Good. Pressing into the heel as you feel that stretch into the calf. If you tend to be hypermobile or really flexible, notice the elbows, try not to lock and push them forward. And then we'll add that little shift, finding the balance, lifting the toes but keeping the hips square. Good. Grounded in that knee. And then finding pause, holding. Good. Flexing the foot, toes are down, option to extend that right arm forward. Beautiful strength, engagement, drawing in, support. Right hand down. Bend into the left knee, a couple circles, and then we'll extend that leg out. Plant the foot. Great. And again, just seeing. This side might be different from the other. Don't ever feel like you have to do the exact same thing. Each side is different, maybe injury, maybe just imbalance. So we always check in and explore side to side. A little wiggle into the hips, lowering into the chest. Hands and knees can be really great for helping baby get into that optimal position. When you're ready, come back to palms. Pivot that left heel in, toe open. Taking a moment here, maybe some circles. And then bringing that forearm to thigh. Resting but not collapsing, using it for stability, pushing the forearm the way, right arm reaches up. Maybe hand to belly, opening into the chest. And bring the hands back down. Shoulder stack over wrists, straighten into the legs, sweeping all the way back and around behind, toes tucked, push into that heel. Feel more length and stretch into the left hip as you gaze to the right. Beautiful. Gaze back to the top of the mat, lift the toes, find that balance, and draw the knee in, bringing the knee down. Now taking a moment, maybe using the blocks, maybe not, moving into a puppy pose, keeping the hips stacked high over the knees, so we're not pushing back like child's pose. I like to keep the toes tucked, stable in the knees, walk the hands as far forward as feels good for you, and maybe forearms come down and that's enough. Maybe heart to the mat, maybe a little wider in the knees if you need more space for belly. And just softening into the chest. Throughout the practice, you'll notice there are areas in the body that feel a little bit more fire, and then areas that feel a little bit more flower, right? And we want to feel both in our practice. We want to feel uncomfortable. We want to find places where we need to come back to the breath, because we're going to need that. These are tools that we're practicing now so we can use them later. But then remembering that we can't be tight and clenched and gripping and grasping forever. We can't be in the fire forever. So we soften, we let go, make space. And begin to walk the hands back. Bringing the hands in the blocks with you. We're going to extend the right leg back and then bring the knee in and all the way, stepping it to the outside of the block, coming into this wider lunge, maybe bringing the blocks up tall if it helps to be a little bit more lifted. And here, just kind of moving between, seeing how it feels. Maybe opening up the knee more if that feels good, depends on the body, right? If you're having pubic bone pain, you might draw that knee in, stay more upright. Kind of exploring here. And then from here, bring the blocks shorter, a little bit more stability, press into the palms. Right foot is grounded, we're hugging the knee into the shoulder. Back toes tucked, lift the knee, pause, just for a moment, pause. Feel that fire build. Come back to the breath. And then step the left foot up, outside of the blocks. A little bit of a wide fold here for a moment, bending into the knees, taking a moment. And then we'll pivot our heels in, toes open as we move into Malasana. 1 block or 2 blocks. Opening up the knees, yeah. So having support here, grounded. Now Malasana can be really helpful. Early labor, we're opening up more of the top of the pelvis here. Whereas when we get into later labor, we want to open up more of the lower part. It's more internal rotation. But here, when we're really working on getting baby in that descent, opening up into the knees. It might feel good to have a supportive partner holding behind you here so that you can actually sink into it. This is a really lovely option towards labor, so you get more of that weight and gravity is on your side as baby gets heavier. But for the support, we like to use the blocks here. And if this is too painful, you can always do just half malasana, which we will go into together as well. But first, we'll bring the right forearm to right knee, left arm opens, feeling that diagonal stretch, just gentle twist. And left hand down. Other side. And down. So bending into the right knee, bringing the inside of the ankle towards the blocks. I find that one block is better for me in half malasana. But either way, we bring our left forearm down, right arm opens again, opening into the chest. And from here, bringing both hands down, we're going to reach the hands forward, crawling forward, tucking the back toes, and add some circles, so a little bit deeper into that asymmetrical lunge, which also can be helpful if maybe you're dilating on one side and not the other, getting to more asymmetrical movement, moving baby down. I joke often that a lot of babies are born in Captain Morgan. There's a reason for that. You got the one knee up. So just, yeah, moving in, circling, seeing how it feels, connecting with the breath, and then making your way back to center. Good, taking pause. We'll bring that right foot up, switching sides, and starting first with that. Left hand comes down. Walk the hands forward, tuck the back toes, adding a little movement here. Good. I think that prenatal yoga is a great opportunity to explore and find things that work in your body, and then to also know what doesn't work. When something doesn't feel right, you have the power, the autonomy to say, no, this doesn't feel right. And that's a practice for also labor and delivery and into birth. Beautiful, coming back to center. Sometimes it can feel hard to trust ourselves in birth, hard to know what does feel right and what doesn't and why. Sometimes we don't know why, but we know something doesn't feel right. So I think it's an important practice to really listen to ourselves, to trust our intuition, to know that it's your body and your baby. And this is part of motherhood. So coming back to center, hands to heart, lifting of the chest. And then we'll bring our hands down. Stepping the right foot back this time into that lunge, a deeper lunge. All the way back. Finding that lizard variation. Hands to blocks, drawing the knee in, a little movement into the hips if that feels good, maybe straightening. And then taking a moment, pressing into the palms, push the blocks away, back toes tucked, lift the knee, hold. Come back to breath. Knee down. Beautiful. Sweeping that left leg back. A little bit of movement. And walking the hands back. Coming up into a seat, we're going to shift onto our hips as we move back to stillness. I'm going to grab a bolster, and this is actually my favorite. If you've got pillows, blocks, I've had clients tell me that, or students tell me that they sleep this way after they experience this because it's the only way they can sleep at the end of pregnancy. So we put one block tall, one short, make sure it's stable. Go ahead, recline back, blocks under the knees for support, opening into the hips, giving yourself a moment. Ending our practice in Queen's pose with butterfly legs and the support of the blocks to really be able to soften. To let the arms be heavy, to feel supported and held. That you do a lot of the holding, all of the holding in this phase. And so it's important to find spaces where you can feel held. And maybe feeling held is by community, partnership, maybe it's your yoga props. To let yourself be heavy, to let go, and to receive, because you deserve to receive too. You deserve nourishment too. During the season, we focus a lot on baby, and you are giving everything. Don't forget to receive. Bring your left hand to stomach, right hand to heart center, coming back. Feeling that connection, hand to heart, hand to baby, connected to self. Our practice is complete, but you can stay here as long